Garden Ops is a game mode primarily inspired by the tower defense games, where the player must defend a location against waves of zombies that become increasingly difficult as time goes on. A simple, yet enjoyable experience, especially when it shakes things up on the 5th and 10th waves, with the game bringing in various bosses into the mix, and with it being entirely up to chance in what you get. No two experiences of Ops would be the same, allowing for plenty of replayable and unique experiences. In Garden Warfare 2, this was expanded upon in two ways, with additional bosses, as well as having the equivalent to zombies, being Graveyard Ops, which was the first thing shown back in E3 2015, alongside the game's brand new zombies classes being showcased, as well as enemies they would face in Graveyard Ops. Now with it being exactly the same as Garden Ops, except tailored for zombies instead of plants, you think there would be no possible way for them to fuck it up, right?
Oh my fucking god! Why is it all just Giga Torchwood?
Clearly, fucking not, as for some godforsakes reason. In Graveyard Ops, Wave 5 is plagued by the presence of Giga Torchwood a majority of the time, to the point where 9 times out of fucking 10, he is all you see. Whilst initially this was not noticed during the game's launch, in recent times, people have picked up and have actually started getting sick of him. Why is he so common? What led to PopCap allowing such a simple fuck up and making this oversized tree show up far more than he should? Well, today, let's go find out about that, shall we? So, setting the stage, almost every Wave 5 on Graveyard Ops without fail, a singular Giga Torchwood shows up like the fucking plague. But why is this? Well, to get our answer in how such a simple fuck up managed to slip by PopCap, we're going to use the Frosty editor in order to access Garden Warfare 2's internal data and see what the fuck went wrong. Firstly, let's head to the directory that contains the wave data for Graveyard Ops. Now in this context for Garden Warfare 2, boss waves are divided into 3 categories. Single boss waves, containing just the one boss. Double waves, which contains 2 bosses. And super boss waves, which contain 3 of the same boss. Keep this in mind for it'll be important later. Skimming over the unused beatboxer wave, directly below it is Giga Torchwood solo wave, which contains what you would expect, starting off with a single Giga Torchwood. So far, nothing seems to be amiss. Everyone else's single boss waves are here as well, although weirdly the only other single boss that we can find on wave 5 is Bean, which admittedly is a little concerning. Well, it never hurts to check. Let's see what's going on with Stump's wave. Let's see why he isn't showing. Oh, well there's the first clue. That is quite clearly not a fucking big stump, but a Giga Torchwood. Now given we also know that on wave 5, Queen doesn't appear by herself either, so that can only mean one thing. Just as I thought, our first major culprit, 3 out of the 4 solo waves for some reason, are dedicated to just Giga Torchwood, when they absolutely fucking shouldn't. The only other boss that can have one is Bean. This is half the answer and why a singular Torchwood is so fucking common, as well as why you rarely see a solo Bean, but never a solo Stump or Queen on wave 5. But there is another area we need to check, being the wave logic, for this file contains the other half of our answer. The wave logic, to keep it simple, is basically the integrity of how Ops works from top to bottom. Most of the stuff in here isn't important with our investigation, for instead, we have come for 2 components in particular. The first is this random event component. This specific component is responsible for selecting either a double boss roll or a single boss roll when wave 5 comes around. The value is set to 80, meaning that 80% of the time wave 5 comes around, you are given a single boss roll. This already has it biased towards the single boss rolls, which as we already know, are flawed in that 3 out of 4 of them point to Giga Torchwood, since PopCap put him in the single rolls for Queen and Big Stump by mistake. But it gets even worse, for when we then go to the component responsible for selecting a single boss wave, as you can see here, it has a setting enabled, being uniform distribution. This setting in particular makes things worse, as whilst it is random, it is heavily biased towards the top of of the list it selects from. This basically means that it is more than a 75% chance that it'll pick a Giga Torchwood over the Super Bean. Hell, it's leaning more towards a 85 or even 90% chance purely because of his uniform distribution bullshit. So to summarize, in why Wave 5 Graveyard Ops is such a shit show, every time it goes to select a role, there's an 80% chance it selects a single boss role, which is then biased in picking a solo Giga Torchwood more than 80% of the time. All of this happens, all because of one toggle, and a fuck up in setting the single boss waves. What a fucking time to be alive, in experiencing a company so incompetent that making a literal copy of the same game mode somehow gets fucked up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun. Also real quick, there is a link in the description to a mod that I have made that fixes all these issues, along with making the slots actually randomized. Link is in the description.